Hey, welcome back. You know what time it is. It's time for us to talk about the Denial of the Day video podcast with the Bellator boys. And the crew that I got with me is Casey. He's here somewhere in the room. And the person that we can't see because they're in the Bat Cave is Chris, our claims manager. Chris, are you there?
I'm here. How's it going, everyone?
Good, buddy. Good to see you guys. Hey, we have gotten so much good feedback related to our podcast and the information that we're giving out because we really want to help 1 million people. That is our target. So if you could like this, comment, share, or subscribe to our channel, that would be amazing because we want to get it out to the people that need the help most. And with your help, we can do that. So thank you so much. Casey, we're talking about something really interesting today that really relates to contractors specifically and how we kind of piece an estimate together and maybe some things that they're forgetting that they could add in some of those types of items. What would you say? And Chris, thank you for bringing that up. What would you say? We're just going to go over this as one of our show and tell objects here and kind of just go through it really quickly. But give us a few pointers, Casey, since you're the master estimator in our team.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. Yeah. So one of the things, the first tip I would offer to any of the contractors is I would try to organize the estimate in a way that someone who's never been to the property, never seen it, can digest it. And usually a good starting point is going to be to make your estimate mirror or parallel the carrier's estimate. It just makes it easier to read. And then they can compare side by side, and it just honestly makes it, kind of dumbed down and simplified. That way they can
Yeah.
review it and compare line to line. So tip
Well,
number one, organize
yeah.
it the same time.
Awesome. So with that tip, what I want to say is we're not here to placate the adjuster. We're not here to do their job for them. But the tip that Casey just gave you is gold, that the easier you can make it for them, the easier they make it for you. We've experienced it time and time again, over and over again, because guess how many claim files these adjusters have on their desk? Casey, you used to be an IA. Give me a rough number what you think today is, because we know these people are overwhelmed. I have a number in my mind. I'll tell you that in a second. But Casey, what do you think? How many claims are these guys working on?
So I would say, and I talked to a lot of adjusters,
I know.
most adjusters are going to be somewhere between like 90 to 120 claims in their queue that one person's responsible for.
Wow.
Boom, dude, that's crazy. I remember there was a person that was on a panel that we were talking to and with, as a presentation to some contractors last year, and her number, and this is the number that I remember, I'm assuming she said it, was 150. So even if you say there's 100, like one person's in charge of 100 different claims, the easier you can make it for them, the easier they'll make it for you. What next, Casey?
Absolutely. And the next thing is going to be making sure we put notes in our estimate. So for instance, on this estimate that Chris has pulled up here, we're going to call them F9 notes, right? So we have notes under our line two that he just highlighted. If it's a code requirement, if it's something that they've missed, if it's a manufacturer requirement, any of those requirements by the municipality or the manufacturer, we're going to want to put those line items in there. And again, that'll bring attention to the adjuster. Hey, this is why, this is how we justify a high grade impact shingle or whatever the item might be. So making sure we have good notes in there, and again, makes it easier to get it paid and get it reviewed.
Right.
Yeah, and one of the things I'll notice too is I see also you put a little bit in here for waste. Obviously, if this is 38 squares, the new one that you're putting on is about 41, just to cover a little bit of waste material. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, there's going to be nuances if it's a hip roof or gable roof, all sorts of fun things like that. And if you say, hey, this has a lot of valleys or it's got a lot of hips on it, make a note in there. Hey, this is a complex roof. It's got multiple hip areas and 100 linear feet of valley. Any of those little notes you can put in there is going to make it easier for them for sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
And so when we talk about our presentation as public insurance adjusters to the insurance company, legitimate and reasonable, that's what comes through our mind. What is legitimate, reasonable for this project, this reconstruction, whatever it might be, if it's a roof, interior, any of the above, all of the above. The question comes down to, is what's on the estimate reasonable and is what's on the estimate legitimate? If it is, great. And the F9 notes allows you to legitimize why you're saying, hey, this is required or this is needed and this is what should be done because of F9 notes. So awesome. What else do we have for the viewers today?
And then typically the easiest way to organize it is going to be do each elevation, the front of the house, the right side of the house, the rear of the house, left, in a sequential order. That way it makes sense. Just like if you're walking around taking your photos, it's going to make sense when you're reading your actual estimate too.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that on here. And then it looks like we move on to other structures. Like this particular property had a shed, pole barn. So you do the full, primary dwelling first if this is residential, start with the roof, the different elevations, then you move on to different structures, it looks like.
Right. Yeah, and so the easier you make the estimate to read for the adjuster as they're working through their 100 freaking claims, the more likely it is that you're going to get what you want. And again, our job isn't to do their job, but our job, if we can make their job easier, our job is a lot easier too. So that's what I always work on is, hey, how can I make my life and my job easier? It's because I'm making their life easier too. They appreciate it. And also that's a lot of goodwill that goes in your way. I'm going to give you the last word, Casey or Chris, and then I'll wrap it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I love it. So I used to be an independent adjuster, and the easier, better information that was provided to me, I could get it reviewed and get it paid. Or if it was a large dollar amount, then I could take that information, provide it to a manager, which is the workflow for everybody. Provide it to a manager, they can look at it. Yeah, it makes sense. Check the box. Good to pay.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
If they can check the boxes, that makes it so much easier for them. Chris, what say you, my friend?
Yeah, and like I said, keep it all on the easy level, but just know that this is what we do for a living. I mean, we're public adjusters. We're
Right.
gonna obviously, you bring us on to increase your claim because for some reason it's not getting increased where it needs to be. And so these are just some of the things that we do on the back end that you don't see as far as investigating the property, putting together proper estimates, putting together a great public adjuster report, all of our findings. That way we can send to the carrier to where it's easy, they can see it, and we kind of just bring them up to speed of, okay, this is where everything's at, this is where we need to be. So
That's right. And Chris brings up a really good point is this is obviously a super high level of what we dig into if we're looking at ordinance and law, requirements from the HOA, whatever else it is. We've gotten so many different claims paid in different ways because we dig into the details to make sure everything is in the estimate and our public adjuster report. So I'll just speak to that real quick. One of the things that we do that's different than most public insurance adjusters is we do a public adjuster report for each property that we adjust. And that claim based on that report has so much more strength than, hey, here's an estimate. Yeah, hey, here's an estimate, but here are all the photos, and here are the reasons why, and these are the specifications, and so on and so forth. And like I've had reports that are hundreds of pages long, and we've won claims because of that. So just remember that, and when you're choosing your public insurance adjuster, visit us at bellatorclaims.com because we want to help you as best as we possibly can. All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time.